Alright guys, so welcome back for another week of Wake Up CX, and this week is all about understanding the questions. When you deal and work in a customer service sort of environment, you will have customers coming to you asking you questions for many different reasons, and they will all have different motivations behind why they called, what they want to solve. And I think the reason why I wanted to do an episode on this is I think more often than not, it's becoming more common that we seem to be missing the point of why they rang us in the first place. So, a couple of things I want to put forward with this topic. The first one being a great quote, which is, "You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So a great leader will listen twice as much as they speak." Now, I think that's brilliant. For a start, it's 100% true. Doesn't matter if you're a leader, customer service rep, any role that you want to face. You've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. So listen twice as much as you decide to open your mouth. And, it'll set you on the right path. Now, when it comes to call centers, we tend to try and make a more uniformed approach to things, which means we set up our agents with call flows or chat scripts, whatever it is. And these are a great tool for new people that have just started out in the business. It helps them sort of focus their thoughts as they're working through these calls and building up their own knowledge. And it's fine. It's not ideal, but it's understandable in a new agent that they will rely on these scripts. But if you want to have great customer experiences, you want to deviate from these scripts. Now, that's not to say you don't need some sort of flow or a guide to make sure that you're remaining compliant. But if you want to truly address a customer's problem and you want to do it in a way that is going to raise up your quality scores or your CSAT scores, then you need to be able to deviate from the scripts and truly listen to when people are asking you questions so that you address exactly what their problem is. Now, if someone explains that they're having a problem to you and you're just working your way through a script, you're probably going to be asking them some things that are completely unrelated. You may find yourself looping over things, asking the same sort of thing twice or getting the same response twice. If someone, for example, says, "I can't see something on an app," and you're saying, "Oh, have you checked the app?" "Yes, because I can't see it on the app." And then a few stages down, you're like, "Okay, so it says if you go on the app and you do this and you go here, you'll be able to see it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've just told you I can't see it on the app." And the moment they go down that route, that customer's frustrated and they're getting really annoyed, and it's going to bomb your CSAT scores. It's really bad. So this is where developing that knowledge so that you can give them a human conversation, a human experience, and listen to them and really understand their motivation for calling. It's going to have a huge impact across the business. So let's just follow the path of the influence, okay? So the customer rings up, they wait in a queue, they speak to an agent. Now, if this agent gives them a negative experience, they're going to hang up or end the call and they're going to come straight back in the queue, which is going to increase the wait time for all your customers. Your customers are going to come through more frustrated. Your agents aren't going to get a break as much between calls. They're going to be starting to get a bit exacerbated. They're going to start making more mistakes. That, in turn, is going to drop your CSAT score and it's going to increase your call volume coming in. Really negative cycle that you don't want to be on. The morale in the contact center is going to be horrendous because you've got more frustrated calls coming through and your customer base is going to be really frustrated. They're going to be less inclined to refer your business. Overall, your business is going to start dropping off. Whereas if we flip that on the head and say, your calls come through, they speak to a human on the other side of the call. This human listens to them. They have an actual conversation with them. They resolve whatever their underlying issue is. The customer leaves happy. That customer doesn't come back in the queue. Your agent's got more of a positive sort of reaction to that, a bit more upbeat because they solved the problem. Happy customer, they got some praise at the end. Your CSAT scores are going up. Now, next customers come through, but they don't have to go to behind these other frustrated customers that are calling back. So your wait time reduces, fewer calls are coming through to your team, your agents are handling the calls. So they're happier. They're getting a break between calls. Their mood's a bit more positive because they're getting so many more positive responses. And again, it cycles it round. The demand on your staff is reduced. You know, you're able to compensate your staff a little bit better because you don't need 100 staff to do the job that 80 staff's now doing because they've curtailed on the volumes that are coming in by delivering a better service. These people that are going away are referring new customers. Your, overall money coming into the business goes up. Everyone's happier. Now, the problem that I've got is that a lot of businesses turn into AI. Like AI is going to be the solution to all of this. Now, AI is great, powerful technology, but it's not human, okay? So, yes, it's a great database of information. Yes, it can respond to basic queries and provide some good answers. But it can't think like a human. No matter how fanciful it is, and it is really powerful tech, it's not quite a human. And I don't think it ever will be. Now, when people ring up to speak to someone, that's what they're doing. They're ringing up to speak to a human. They want to have a human conversation, a human interaction. If they wanted to speak to a bot, they would use a web chat. They would use an FAQ or, a search engine or something like that. When they're ringing up to speak to a person, it's because they want that human interaction. And I don't think many businesses are understanding that. Now, if I look at huge corporations, I'm going to go with energy companies here because the bigger energy companies are really guilty of this. A lot of their staff operate in a very segmented way, where they've got very limited actions and things they can do, and they have to follow scripts, and they have to follow all these different procedures, and they're very convoluted, and you get passed around all the time. These are negative experiences. They can be replaced by AI. It's not a problem. But it's not going to do anything great for your scores. It's just going to reduce the overall spend of the business. Your customer satisfaction is still going to be in the tank. But if you want to improve the satisfaction of your customers, you're going to need actual people to deal with things. People that are able to do more diverse things across the business, have more control. But you typically find this happens more in smaller businesses, which is why smaller businesses tend to have much higher customer satisfaction than large corporations, because you're made to feel like the customer that you're speaking with is cared for. They actually feel like they matter to your business, whereas in a big corporation, this tends to happen a lot less. So that's just my thoughts on this. I do think it's extremely important that we truly understand the motivation behind someone calling. And a human can do that far better than any AI will ever achieve. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Are you a big advocate for bringing more and more AI in? Or are you a fan, like myself, of doing more automation? Supporting our team by automating some of the routine tasks and allowing people to connect with people. That's my preferred approach. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please drop me a comment and let's have a chat. See you next week.